Freedom Fighters, I'm back with another one. Well, I'm sure you've seen it by now, this clip of illegals beating the cops in New York City. So I figured we'd talk about it and I'd give my opinion. And my opinion on it is good. And I know half of the audience is like, hell yeah. And the other half is like tuning out and disliking the video. But before you do that, if you're on that half, hear me out. And then, feel free to let me know in the comments. We can discuss it if you believe something else. But, I've been seeing a lot of people cover this. And look, I understand the outrage of these illegals beating these cops. I mean, I get it. But, at this point, I just don't care anymore. And it reminds me of this clip that I saw from Hammerhand. And he doesn't really talk about stuff like this in the political realm or whatnot. He's more of a, he talks about feminism in the West and like men's rights and stuff like that. But he was doing this report of this one time of this Ratchet 304, in his words, that's what he calls them. But, she, I believe, was stealing something and they called the cops on her and she was in the parking lot. And they pulled in and, they told her to step out of her car and she wasn't doing it and resisting. And the cop stood in front of her and she took off and he was pinned to the hood. And I believe he shot and killed her. And you've heard the saying, the trash doesn't take itself out. And Hammerhand was saying, well, in this case it does. Because I don't think he's too fond of the police either. This case is a little different because I tend to side more with the cop in that situation because, investigating retail theft is within their purview. He should be here for that, but usually in cases where the cops are up to no good and they're enforcing unconstitutional laws on we the people or, allowing all this shit to go on that we see these days, I'm like, who cares? And let the trash take each other out. It's, for a better, analogy is like if it's the Blood or the Crips. I have no dog in that fight. Let them take each other out. Let them do what they're going to do. As long as they aren't harming innocents. There's cases where, you get stray bullets and stuff and it harms an innocent. I don't want any of that. But most of the time they're targeting gang members' crimes are usually targeted at other members that are affiliated with the other factions. So, let them sort it out. If they're taking each other out, it's the less we have to worry about them. So in the case of these illegals, if the cop got to his weapon and pulled it out and smoked some of these guys, oh well. And if these illegals ended up beating these cops to death, in my opinion, oh well. The trash is taking itself out. And, I didn't used to always be this way. I was a back the blue. I had a thin blue line picture as my profile picture, believe it or not. My avatar. And, I've just completely and utterly lost all respect for these people. And I'm at the point now where it's like they reap what they sow. And that goes for all these uniforms and badges out there and all the organizations. Whether they're 3-letter organizations or they're the Border Patrol or any of that. You continue to sit around and in some cases facilitate, and aid and abet in the treason. So, you get what you deserve. And I'm supposed to what? Cry and boo-hoo over it. There was a case just a few weeks ago in New York where it's on video. The cops are, leading buses into these migrant facilities and they're overfilled, they're overcrowded, so they're leading them into a school. And they had to shut the school down. And there was an angry mother out there who, their kids don't get to school now because now it's a homeless shelter. And the illegals are sleeping in the gymnasium. And she's telling the cops, I hope you guys feel good that this is what you're doing. and they're outside of the school, are they there for your safety? Are they out there fighting crime and doing anything? No, they're out there making sure the illegals get into the school safely, and they put up barriers and they're pushing people back, and they're out there the ones evicting vets out of hotels and pulling them out of their rooms so the illegals can stay there. Those are your beloved thin blue line. Those are your beloved cops. So don't tell me like, oh, they're all patriots and they're all, on our side. And the ones that you think are, where are they at? Are they arresting their buddies out here doing this stuff? Are they resigning en masse? And then people say, oh yeah, they've had so many people leave the force. No, it's been like 10%. And most of the people that do that is because they're already past their pension. They're getting ready to retire, and they're like, I'm still here. Like, what am I doing here? I might as well just leave and, gather my benefits and head off. But yeah, these cops are going to force the unconstitutional laws on you, but they have no problem. They're a sanctuary city. They're going to let the illegals roam free. But what if you had a bulge on your hip? Maybe it's just a phone holster or a tourniquet or a med pack. But, they want to investigate and make sure it's not a firearm. Because, New York City, it's a unconstitutional zone. Your natural rights have no bearing there. And you better believe if you did have a firearm on your hip, they're taking you away for felony charges. They're going to enforce those unconstitutional laws on you. But no, the illegals and all that, they get to roam free. So, in my opinion, they reap what they sow. And now they're even talking about, a pathway to allowing these illegals to become police officers. And they're talking about even letting them join the military too. So that's a whole nother video in itself. But, we know we're headed towards World War III here. I partially think that they're just bringing all these people in to, send them off as soldiers. But, good luck finding them, where they're at and sending draft papers to their residents or whatnot. Because they're just all going to go AWOL anyway. They're not even documented, so how are you going to find them and send them off to war? No, most likely they're going to be housing them all on your dime, and then they're going to send you off to war, and your children off to war. Which will, like I said, that's going to be a whole nother video, but yeah, so now you're going to have illegals telling you, yo, you're going 5, 10 miles over the speed limit. Who cares if you're going 20, 50 over? You're not even supposed to be here. And you're enforcing the laws against us, we the people, that's ridiculous. Or imagine them enforcing unconstitutional gun laws, against the people. Oh, is that more than a 10-round magazine? Is that an assault weapon? And you're getting disarmed by an illegal. It's absolute clown world. And it's not even clown world. I don't want to use that term because it's not funny. It's not a joke. And all this stuff is done purposely. You're watching the invasion. You're watching the takeover of your country. And I'll do a whole nother video on that. But, yeah, so let me know what you guys think. But, if you're part of still that back the blue crowd and you think these people are your friends, let me know in the comments. But, and it still amazes me how many people, allow this. They're blinded by, their judgment is blinded by their worshiping of the thin blue line. And I got friends like that who still refuse to believe it. And they think they're on their side. And, one time I was off-roading with some buddies. And we got lost in the woods. And finally, after hours, we find our way into this gated community. We didn't know, what it was. And one of the neighbors were like, oh, we're calling the cops. And, we were headed out there. And we see at the gate, it says, it takes pictures on the way in. And if you head out and they don't see you coming in, well, how'd you get there? So, they're going to get you for trespassing at the very least. And the guys were like, oh man, I'll talk to the cops and, realize, we're not, doing anything wrong. We're not up to no good or anything. I got the Thin Blue Line sticker on my truck and, I'll talk to them. And, some of my guys are military and stuff and they're like, these are my people. I'll talk to them. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, you think you're going to talk your way out of this and, these are your friends and stuff? Man, you've lost your mind. These are state revenue collectors. They're here, to bring charges up on your ass. So, they saw the look in my eyes and, I hauled ass out of there and I'm like, nope, I'll come back the way we came and try to figure out another way out. And they all followed. I think they came to their senses and realized eventually, like, these people aren't here to help you. It's just not going that way. But yeah, let me know what you think. And you know what I always say? We are on our own. No one's coming to save us. Only God can save you. So get right with God. Freedom Fighters out.